Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today, we're back with New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Lisa Renee Jones. Lisa Renee Jones is the author of 75-plus novels and multiple series, including the highly acclaimed Inside Out series. Thanks for joining us today, Lisa.
I am so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you. And today I want to discuss the business of writing and PR and reviews in specific. So, Lisa, how do you approach building a strong PR strategy for your books, especially given the different genres you write in?
I was just talking to my assistant about this, about how we do a plan for each book. So we actually make like a little mini business plan for each book, especially because I write across genres and I have several pen names. It's very important to look at it. And it's easy to get lost in, oh, that's what we did for this book, but that's not really what's going to work for the other one. So we actually write out a little business plan, and I highly recommend that so that you know what you're doing, but also you can tell next time what didn't work as well.
Right.
Because there's that old saying about, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And I found that it can be easy to slip into that, to think, yeah, but we always do this. But what have we done to actually measure the dynamics of it and see what the results are?
What advice would you give authors looking to increase visibility of their books through reviews and endorsements?
I think having good reviews matters simply because people like me look at a book and go, oh, or a movie, and I go, oh, it's 3.75 stars. I'm not going to, watch that movie. My husband will be like, oh, that's almost 4. It's okay. And I'm like, no, it's
Right.
not. No, it's not. So some people like me, really, they want to see those stars lit up. But reviews are such a tricky thing. I don't know that they necessarily sell books. It's just their existence, I think, helps give security to people like you're established. Sometimes a bad review can sell a book. I mean, if you're, for instance, writing a sexy romance and they say, oh, there was so much sex, then they're like, oh, cha-ching, that's the book I want. I've had a lot of authors I know say, oh, perfect. Bad reviews saying so much sex. But for somebody else to so much sex, like I also write thrillers under L.R. Jones, and they're really, really, those readers do not like cursing, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
some of them will go, oh, it was fine, except was all that language necessary? And I'm like, yeah, and she said like, damn, like twice. I mean, it wasn't even a lot. I'm pretty conscious of that fact.
Right.
Newer authors tend to obsess over what the reviews say. Established
Mm.
authors tend to not.
Could you share some methods you've used that help with engaging your readers and just maintaining that loyal fan base?
It has changed over the years. When I started writing, there was no such thing as TikTok and that kind of thing. So it was very, very hard to reach readers. Now, everybody's on social media. And it's actually the hardest thing for writers, for me, for my friends, is trying to balance being engaged on social media and having time to write, and the pressure feels extreme. So I feel sympathetic to people starting now because but I guess in a way they don't also look back and go, oh, I wish it were like it used to be,
Mm.
because all they know is right now too. That's what they know. That's how they started. But I mean, it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's everywhere, it's Threads, it's everything and anything. Most of us have private reader groups that we and communicate with, and those are probably the best way to keep your loyal readers, because they know you, they're there for you, they're really in tune with you. So those private groups are probably the number one thing. But a lot of people have all kinds of special private groups where they are doing special content for them, that kind of thing. And then also your newsletters are really, really, really important. So getting those newsletter numbers up, which you can do a lot of different ways. You can hold contests for people to join your newsletters.
Mm.
You can get with other authors and do a group contest. I've had really great success with that. I'm in a couple groups where we share each other's free books monthly. And then whoever gets those free books, they join the newsletter. I get a big chunk of people that way. So, we as authors tend to team up and try and find ways to help each other.
How important do you believe that social media and having a presence on there is for an author? And how could you manage that online presence on all those channels?
See, there's some people who would tell you it's absolutely a must.
Mm.
But there are different avenues of publishing and different ways to publish. So I think that one thing I would just stress is one of the most important things is to exploit your rights in every possible way, whether it
Mm.
be foreign, whether it be digital, whether it be audio, whatever it might be. I know people who are making a living in Germany that are making no money in the US, but they're making more money than a lot of people in the US. Like they're making the money in those other markets. I know people who are doing it off of apps and making huge money. So what you need to do to be successful can be based on how you're publishing. Are you publishing with a New York publisher? Are you publishing in print in bookstores? How are you publishing? I have friends who are making a living off of just selling into Walmart, and
Mm.
they are big in ebook. I have friends who are huge at Audible, but they aren't huge in ebook. So
Right.
I think it really has to do with how you're, approaching publishing, or where you've been fortunate enough to kind of find your niche. So finding your niche is a good thing. Hopefully you can have a niche in a lot of those things, because things tend to cycle. The market cycles, and that's not just publishing, that's the business world as a whole, and really the world as a whole. What goes up must come down. So you'll see that certain ways to publish are huge for a while. And genres, I mean, fantasy was gone for a while. You could not publish in fantasy and make a living, and now it's huge again. Historical went away and now it's come back. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that things cycle. So you have to look at your career as it's a cycle and being prepared for it.
And on the note of reviews, I want to close a little bit with talking about professional ones. What role do you believe that these professional reviews play in a marketing strategy, and how can an author handle that?
I mean, it gives you credibility with publishers more so than it does with readers. I mean, I don't know any reader that goes, "Oh, she got to start a review at Publishers Weekly. That must be the book to read right now." I mean, I've seen people win awards and get all kinds of huge reviews in the book of bombs. So I honestly don't think when it comes, if you're talking money, making money, and that's what this is about. Yes, we all love books. So yes, we want everybody to read our books, but this is a business. Publishers have to make money, and so do we.
Right.
And if we're not making money, the publisher's not making money, therefore we're not going to continue to be published. So when you're talking about money, I don't think it's that relevant. I think it can be part of a bigger campaign, using it to advertise with, using it for social media, that kind of thing. But if you just get it and you sit there with it, it's not going to do much. And I think it has to be part of something much bigger.
Lastly, where can our listeners find and connect with you?
Oh, well, social media. Yeah, lisareneejones.com, and that has all my social media on it.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's interview with New York Times and USA Today best-selling author Lisa Renee Jones. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.